Tim O'Malley with Tim Priester prior to Notre Dame's home opener against New Mexico. And Tim, as a colleague pointed out up in the press box, this was Notre Dame's third home game. At this point last season, it's been a long wait for Irish fans and probably for the coaching staff and Ian Book after the opener.
No doubt, and I think that 12 days between games, you know, last year when they played Ball State, it was a week after the Michigan game. I think there's, because of what happened with Ball State, we've said this all week, but also having that additional time, they're going to be very hungry to get back on the field today.
It just doesn't seem to have the trap or the sandwich or anything involved, but I do think we always make the joke, the bye week at a good time. People ask on the website, is it better if they had a good team this week prepare for Georgia? I don't think so. I think Notre Dame running their stuff, getting the confidence up. All the defensive guys, the veterans that Brian Kelly said need to play better. They should, they will today. If they don't, it's going to be a long season, but we expect them to run like a finely tuned machine in game 2.
You know, Brian Kelly and the players said this week that the time in between games was about them, not so much the opponent. It's easy to look at it that way because it's New Mexico, and New Mexico is going to have a very difficult time stopping Notre Dame's offense. But, you know, you can twist and turn bye weeks any way you want, but they did need to look at themselves internally because they weren't as sharp as they wanted to be or should have been against Louisville.
We expect Cole Kmet to be able to play, but we don't know if he will play. Jameer Smith, I believe, is, well, probably not a game-time decision, but a game-time situation for us to find out. Either way, I would think Notre Dame, with Jafar Armstrong out, would want to get at least Kyron Williams involved in the mix. If you're going to Georgia next week and then Virginia, that's two very good run defenses. I don't think Tony Jones is going to carry the load against both teams. What is the balance you strike with getting Kyron Williams, maybe Sibo Flemister in, and playing your best to start this game?
Flemister's the guy that I would like to see. You know, I mean, I think we said that earlier in the week that where he gets 8 carries and gets 5 in a series. But there's no doubt they like Kyron Williams. It was a little surprising after his drop that he didn't get back in the game. But they like him, and they know he has confidence in his ability. Brian Kelly talked about, you know, the doubt that enters the mind of a young player, but we know how they feel about Kyron Williams. We're going to see a bunch of him today.
Defensively, they cleaned up so much after the first 2 drives. I wouldn't expect more than 1 drive like that from New Mexico. It doesn't have to be a perfect defensive day, but I think it would be unfortunate if New Mexico comes out with 2 touchdowns in a competitive game situation today. And if they don't, we should be able to see Phil Jerkovic running the Notre Dame offense in the fourth quarter.
We were up in the press box looking at Georgia's game last week against Murray State. Their backup quarterback was like 9 for 12 for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's what you would like to see from Jerkovic. Not necessarily the stats, but having an opportunity to perform, run the offense, get his feet wet, get a little more comfortable. Now, if he has to play against Georgia, he's not going to be comfortable, but just start to get a little bit of a comfort zone as the number 2 guy on the depth chart.
That's it for us pregame. We'll be back postgame with more instant analysis after Notre Dame's home opener versus New Mexico.